Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. So it seems like the Eldar previews on Warcom and the leaks we're getting through the Eldar Discord may, in a sinister twist, actually be from GW themselves. There is a rumour, and it kinda makes sense when you think about it, when you consider the quality and the cycle we are getting of these leaks, that GW are actually authorizing these potato cam picture reveals to build up even more hype for the Eldar release. Whether that's true or not, it certainly seems to be working, because I honestly haven't seen so many people so hyped up for an upcoming release in a very, very long time. But alas, it can't all be good news and rainbows and OP datasheets, and I wanted to take a look at what I consider to be one of the first somewhat misses from what we've seen from the Eldar leaks so far, and that is the melee-focused brothers of the Wraithguard, the Wraithblades. Now, before we go any further, I'm not saying these guys are awful or terrible or outright not worth taking, nothing like that. They just don't really do much to impress me with their rules when you compare them to some of the other things that we have seen from the Eldar leaks and reveals. And as you can see, for the same 10 power or roughly 35 to 45-ish points as the Wraithguard, you get 5 Wraithblades, who come in with an identical profile, toughness 6, 3 wounds, a nice bump up to 3 attacks, 3 up save, 5-inch move. It is all the same. And I've also written down the information on the left hand side of the screen here, because it has to be said, this image is admittedly really quite blurry, so if you can't make it out, the main info should be there on the side for you to see as well. The big difference with the Wraithblades is, of course, their weapons are melee focused instead of ranged. And it has to be said, they have admittedly seen some buffs to them. The Ghost Axe has changed from D3 damage to a flat 2, and also lost its -1 to hit, so you are now more accurate and doing more consistent damage with them, which is nice. Their Force Shield, which comes with the axe, however, has, in a move which I find a little bit bizarre, not changed to be similar to the Storm Shields of other factions, and still just gives you a 4-up invuln. There is no bonus to your armor save. So with the axe and shield combo, you are still rocking a 3-up save, 4-up invuln, but no 2-up in sight. On the anti-horde front, your ghost swords are the same +1 strength, -3 AP, and 1 damage, but they now give you 2 attacks instead of an extra 1. So with these, you'll be having 5 attacks per model, which again is a nice buff, but I keep comparing both of these options to things like the Lightning Claw Terminators and the Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators. And it just, I don't know, they don't seem all that great in my opinion. The anti-chaff profiles are a bit more closely matched, with the Wraithblades doing slightly more damage to things like Marines, although at the moment at least, that is for a good 5 or so point increase in points. But on the axe vs hammer front, I just can't really see how they're comparable. The hammers get you strength 8 instead of strength 7, which is a huge bonus, flat 3 damage instead of flat 2, which again is huge in the -1 damage meta at the moment, and then crucially, you still get that +1 to your save, so you are rocking a 1-up save on your Terminators rather than the 3-up that the Wraithblades are stuck with. All round, the Terminators just seem to be so much more durable and killy, and they also still have that built-in teleport, so they have arguably better options, or at least cheaper command point-wise options, for getting around that 5-inch move that both Terminators and the Wraith units share as well. I mean, I might be wrong, and points may change and all that, it just to me seems a bit underwhelming, especially when you compare these guys to not only other Eldar datasheets that we've seen, but also the Wraithguard option themselves. I just can't see why you would bring these over the Wraithguard if they are a similar price point, which I think they will be, who have all of the benefits that the Wraithblades have, but ranged attacks as well, and they can still shoot in combat, so even getting bogged down by enemy chaff isn't the end of the world anymore for the Wraithguard, because they can just shoot their way out of it. Aside from that, the Wraithblades do still get the Strands of Fate ability that all Eldar are now getting, and then they still have the Wraithbone form, which is admittedly a huge deal for them, giving them much better survivability against 2 and 3 damage weaponry, and maybe this is where they pay their points compared to things like Terminators for example, it is a huge buff and will definitely help them get into combat much more easily, even if you don't want to put them in a transport and just want to foot slog them up the board, which isn't the best idea. They are still going to survive that much longer against enemy firepower, although I would still argue the best way to run these guys is to chuck them in a wave serpent and then just shoot them up the board so they are protected at least before you decide to disembark them. So there we go, that is the new Wraithblades datasheet. They're not bad, don't get me wrong, I do quite like them and they look amazing. They can still do a fair amount of work, but in my opinion, these are definitely the weakest datasheet that we have seen from the new Eldar book so far. But what do you think? Are these guys better or worse than Space Marine Terminators, and will you be bringing them or Wraithguard in your Eldar list more often? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later guys.